Hi, Douglas Simonson here, coming to you from Mexico with a painting demonstration. Today I'm going to be doing a painting called Jungle Shower featuring Jefferson. But I'm also going to show you a bit of a painting I worked on of Enrique, which didn't work out, but without which I wouldn't have been able to do the painting you're going to see me do today. I worked with Jefferson in late 2022. I flew to Brazil, and we went from Rio down to Angra dos Reis, where I chartered a boat, and then we sailed around until we found a deserted beach on a secluded little island. And while we were there, we found this makeshift shower in the jungle, and I shot a bunch of photos of Jefferson taking a shower in the jungle. I thought it would be fun to turn one of those photos into a painting. And that's what you're going to see me do today. But first, here I am working on the Enrique painting I just mentioned. One of my goals as a painter is always to paint more loose, to have more spontaneous energy. And not just for the sake of painting loose, but because it means I'm taking more chances. And for me, a painting where some chances have been taken, where there's some risk going on, is always going to be more interesting to look at. And it's certainly going to be more interesting to paint. What I don't want to do is a hard-edged, realistic painting where everything is nicely finished. I want a painting where it is clear some risks were taken. To me, that's going to be a much more exciting painting. So when I start a painting, I always have the intention of painting loose, of taking chances. And that's what I was trying to do here with this Enrique painting. I always think I'm going to be able to do it. I always think I'm going to be able to stay loose through the whole painting. But then I get halfway through the painting and I look at it and I realize there's all these hard edges and careful brush strokes and very realistic finished looking, and I think, shit, I screwed up again. I thought I was going to be able to stay loose, but I couldn't. And that's what you're seeing in this painting that I'm showing you right now. I thought I was going to be able to stay loose, and then I just got caught up in the actual painting and stopped taking chances. You may be an aspiring painter who looks at what I'm doing here and thinks, what's he complaining about? I wish I could paint like that. But the fact is, I can paint like that. And for me, this is boring. I already know how to do it. And it's frustrating because I was aiming for something completely different. I was aiming for something loose, exciting, spontaneous, where I'm taking chances. And I didn't get it at all. This painting actually has great composition and color, and there's a lot of stuff in it that I like. But by the time I got to the figure, the idea of completing this painting in the same style that I had started with just seemed like a nightmare. It was so not what I wanted, so not what I was going for. So even though the painting had a lot going for it, I said, this is not working for me. I need to try again. And so I painted over it. When a painting like this happens, I tell myself it's for a good reason. I needed to do this painting that was too careful and too safe so that I could be focused and determined enough to do the painting I really want to do, to take chances and be bold and loose. If I hadn't done that too careful painting, I wouldn't have been able to get to the point where I could do the bold, take chances, interesting, spontaneous, energetic painting that you're going to see me do today. Now, one of the tricks I use to keep myself loose and keep myself from getting caught up in detail is I tweak the image in Photoshop. And I want to tweak it a lot so that there's really no detail left to get caught up in. You can see the progression here where I tweaked it a little in Photoshop and then a little more and then a lot. Now, this last one is the image I worked from to transfer the image to canvas with pencil. And what I've got here is a really loose drawing where you can hardly even tell what anything is. And that's what I want. I don't want a lot of detail. I just want a general idea of where the big shapes are. And that helps me stay loose while still having some guidance for where things go. Here I'm doing my usual routine of covering the underdrawing with an acrylic wash. And while that's drying, I'm going to mix the basic colors I need to get started painting. And as usual, I'm starting with the darkest darks. Now, there's so little detail here that you can see I'm having a little trouble telling where to put those bits of dark. I mean, I can't even tell what's what. And that's good. It's a challenge. It's like a puzzle. but it keeps me from getting caught up in detail. And eventually, I'm starting to make sense of the pattern. The pattern is what I'm going for, not really looking for the image of a body against the jungle. None of that, just looking for the patterns of light and dark. When you focus on the pattern of lights and darks, you're going to be seeing the big picture, the big shapes. And that's always going to give you a better painting than when you're focusing too much on detail. I want to warn you, when you're doing a painting like this, at the early stages, it's usually not going to look very good. In fact, you're going to be painting and thinking, what a mess. How did I ever think this would ever turn into anything? But you have to ignore that voice, because it's normal for it to look like a mess early on when you're doing something this bold and aggressive and daring. So don't listen to that voice. Just keep painting and trust. Trust yourself. Be brave. It is going to turn into something. Painting, keep taking chances, and sooner or later you're going to have a moment where you step back and think, oh, I'm kind of seeing how this is going to work out. This usually involves a lot of standing back and squinting and really getting out of the way and letting the painting tell you what it wants next. I was pretty happy with the way this painting turned out. I felt like I didn't get too careful. I stayed pretty loose all the way through. And that would not have happened, remember, if I hadn't done that first painting that was way too careful. I call it Jungle Shower, and you can see it now on my website. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching me go through all the stuff I had to go through to get this painting to happen. Maybe learned some stuff. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, because that inspires me to do more videos. And if you got a little inspired watching me paint today, great! Put on your painting pants and go paint!